I had to pinch myself because at every single turn, it's been nothing but good news and good vibes for the New York Knicks. It feels like we're living out a dream. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. We are presented by Prize Picks, and we got to talk about OG Anunoby. Make sure you have hit that thumbs up icon. If you want Anunoby to be back at 100% for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, hit that thumbs up icon right now. Is OG Anunoby going to be ready to go in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals? Ian Begley, who does a brilliant job covering the New York Knicks for SNY, went on his show, The Putback, and he made it clear he thinks Anunoby is going to be ready to go for Game 1. He said this exactly, quote, Mike Brown saying still day to day for Anunoby. And I haven't heard anything that leads me to believe anything other than what I'd heard in the aftermath of the injury, which was this was a minor injury. This was not a significant injury. And barring any setbacks, Anunoby will play Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And Bagley went on to say, and I feel very comfortable saying that just because of where this thing was in the day or 2 days after it happened. You know, no reason for him to play on Sunday against the Sixers in Game 4. They were up 3-0. They could close a series out and give him some rest. Now he'll have plenty of time to rest here and get whatever he needs to get back, his rhythm, conditioning, etc. He will be ready Game 1, whether it's Sunday or Tuesday. Again, barring some setback, some unforeseen setback, the New York Knicks should have OG Anunoby back. I think if you're a Knicks fan that's around my age, which is 31 years old, you've just always come to expect the absolute worst case for the New York Knicks. You were raised as a Knicks fan to be pessimistic and think the glass was half empty and have no hope, no belief in this team. But it seems like every day we wake up, it's like, wow, this is good news. Wow, this is awesome. Everything seems to be going the Knicks' direction at this point. So hopefully OG Anunoby can be back to 100% or as close as possible to 100% for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And quite frankly, the Knicks are going to need OG Anunoby playing at a similar level that he played in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs to advance to the NBA Finals. It still sounds weird to even say that the Knicks have a chance in back-to-back seasons to get to the NBA Finals. Whatever team you're playing, it could be the Cavs, it could be the Pistons, Anunoby, Bridges, they are both going to have their hands full on the defensive side of the floor. Cade Cunningham is averaging 29.2 points per game in the playoffs, and he's had his way versus the New York Knicks this year. Donovan Mitchell averaging 26.7 points per game in the playoffs, and even James Harden is having a good series and a good run here, averaging just under 20 points per game. Especially if you play the Pistons, you're going to want OG Anunoby defending Cade. I think he is the best matchup that you got. On the offensive side of the ball, though, I'm not really sure that Anunoby could play much better. He's been lights out. Versus Atlanta in those 6 games, 21.5 points per game, 8.7 rebounds. We saw him take on more responsibility of attacking and crashing the glass and giving you juice on that side of the floor. And at 6'7", 6'8", 240 pounds, he should be able to do that. 1.2 blocks per game, 1.8 steals per game in round 1. Shooting over 61% from the field and over 56% from 3. Go to Philly, play 2 games, 21 more points per game, rebounds cut in half, still giving you juice and blocks and steals. We know that. But the field goal percentage rises to 64, while the three-point percentage drops a little bit. OG Anunoby has been the X factor all playoff series long. And, honestly, since he's got here, he has been the X factor. 21.4 points per game so far in the playoffs this year. He is playing at the highest level of his career. And he has become this year a playoff riser. He has never played this well in the playoffs. A lot more to talk about on today's show, but I got to tell you about our presenting sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use that promo code HMA, and after you play your first $5 lineup, Prize Picks is going to throw you $50 in lineups instantly. So you have $50 to create some lineups. There's playoff basketball going on every day. If you're a baseball person, they've got games every single day. They've got season-long football options as well. Prize Picks is the place to play. We got game 4? Game 5 of Minnesota and San Antonio coming up tonight. Taking the more on Randall turnovers, taking the less on field goal attempted for Edwards, and then Victor Wembanyama. I think he's going to bounce back after getting ejected. 6x multiplier, chance to turn $10 into $60. You can roll with our picks or fade our picks very easily by following myself and Andrew Connell on Prize Picks. You can follow AC at A Connell, and you can follow me at Marshall Green _. Use that promo code HMA. Play your first $5 lineup. Get $50 instantly. This may be unfair to say, but I felt like one of the reasons the New York Knicks were unable to beat the Indiana Pacers was that OG Anunoby, quite frankly, was just not that good on the offensive end in that series. And I remember tweeting out right after that series, if OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges are going to combine to shoot less than 35% from three, the Knicks aren't going to go very far, and they need to be better next year. And boy, oh boy, as OG Anunoby answered that bell. He goes from 16.3 points per game in the playoffs last year to 21.4 this year. His field goal percentage rises by 20.2%, and his three-point percentage goes from 33.9 to 53.8. There is not anyone in the world right now playing basketball at a higher level than OG Anunoby. In fact, no player in NBA history has shot 60% from the field, 50% from three, 80% from the free throw line in a single postseason run while shooting at least 20 three-pointers attempted outside of OG Anunoby. He's the only player in NBA history to have done that. The Knicks are going to play this series, and hopefully going to play one more series, and then we'll find out. But I think this puts into perspective how high of a level that he is playing at right now. The Eastern Conference Finals, no matter what, is going to start on May 17th. I believe that is a Sunday, and May 19th is a Tuesday. That is going to be based off of how many more games we get in this Detroit and Cleveland series. I think we should be rooting for a Game 7. I have a preference of who I want to play, but at the end of the day, I think the Knicks will beat both of these teams. They should beat both of these teams. Won't be easy, but they should beat them. But remember how much of a talking point it was when the Sixers had to play a Game 7 and then one day rest had to go and play a Game 1? How about we put the Pistons or the Cavs in that same spot, and they got to play all 7 games, one day off, have to play the Knicks. It also gives OG Anunoby some more time to rest. I just want to close the show giving some flowers to a couple of players on the New York Knicks. Let's start with Karl-Anthony Towns. So far in the playoffs, Karl-Anthony Towns is first in PER, first in win shares, first in win shares per 48 minutes, first in offensive win shares, first in VORP, first in box plus minus, first in defensive box plus minus, first in offensive box plus minus. I know all those are kind of some big brain analytical dweeb stats right there, but I think it just shows you that Karl-Anthony Towns has been playing at an extremely high level, and everybody knows it. Karl-Anthony Towns has always been the key to a championship for the New York Knicks. You were never going to win a ring if Cat and Brunson weren't operating as the best two-man game or the two best players in a series. And right now, he is playing right that. And I've said this before, the only person that could stop Karl-Anthony Towns right now is Karl-Anthony Towns. Like, he did all of that against Philly where he played like 30 minutes per game because he was in foul trouble in all 4 of those games. If he could stay out of foul trouble and stay on the floor, there's not a soul in the Eastern Conference Finals that's going to be able to guard him. I'm sorry, Evan Mobley, you're not ready for this. What are you going to do, put Tobias Harris on him if you are Detroit? You're going to put Paul Reed on him? You're going to put Jalen Duren on him? Like, Karl-Anthony Towns should absolutely feast in the Eastern Conference, and he remains maybe the biggest swing player in that series. Shout out to Mikal Bridges as well. All I heard leading up to the Knicks and Sixers series was the Knicks do not have an answer for Tyrese Maxey. The Knicks do not have anyone that can guard Tyrese Maxey. Well, hopefully Mikal Bridges has let Tyrese Maxey out of the box that he's in, because I'm sure he's hungry because he didn't do much eating in that series. Tyrese Maxey's per-game averages when defended by Mikal Bridges in the 4-game series: 3.5 points, 1.8 assists, 2.3 turnovers, and 35 possessions per game. What he did to Tyrese Maxey is one of the best defensive jobs you will ever see in a playoff series. And he also upped his game on the offensive end as well. You're probably looking at these two stats like, Marshall, well, it's less points per game, and he's shooting a less percentage from three. Remember, he almost got benched in that Atlanta series. They almost took him out of the starting lineup. If you just zoom out or zoom in and you go to the last 5 games that Bridges has played, Game 6 versus Atlanta, 4 games versus Philly, 18.8 points per game, 3.4 assists, 67.8% from the field, and 46.7% from three. Bridges has stepped up to the plate, and he went out swinging, and he showed up in a major way when the Knicks did not have OG Anunoby in the final 3, Game 3 and Game 4. I say this all the time, and there's a lot of reasons why the Knicks are winning right now. They are doing things a little bit different on offense. They are playing better defense. They are making a lot of shots. They look more connected. They look more on the same page. All that sounds good. But at the end of the day, it comes down to this little thing right here. And don't use it without giving me credit, because the best players have to be the best players. If the Knicks are going to win a championship, their best players have to be better than the other team's best players. And Jalen Brunson has been one of the best players. And Mikal Bridges has been one of the best players. And OG Anunoby has been one of the best players. And Josh Hart has been one of the best players. And Karl-Anthony Towns is being one of the best players. Like, a lot of people are like, how long can the Knicks do this? It's like, they're not doing anything different. They're just all playing good basketball at the same time. Like, Brunson's not doing anything he hasn't done before. Bridges isn't doing anything he's incapable of consistently doing. OG Anunoby is playing at a level that he does all the time in the regular season. Josh Hart's being Josh Hart. And Towns, quite frankly, isn't even playing, in my opinion, the best version of himself. I think there's another level that this team can tap into. And you still got Alvarado and McBride and Clarkson and Shamet and Robinson. This team's deep. They look like a championship team. And they've been playing like a championship team. And they are just 4 wins away from getting back to the NBA Finals. If you want that to happen, if you want to be playing in June, sounds crazy, hit that thumbs up icon. You're 4 wins away, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate everybody for tuning into today's show. If you haven't yet, give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram @MarshallGreen_.